National Electrical Code, or NEC, Section 700.11 states emergency circuits, including smoke alarms, must be on a dedicated circuit and not served by any other appliances or devices. NEC Section 700.14 states emergency circuits must be protected by circuit breakers or fuses located in a readily accessible location. Based on the NEC requirements, the contractor's installation of a GFI outlet in the circuit powering the smoke alarms is incorrect. This outlet can introduce nuisance trips when the refrigerator or freezer cycles on, which could potentially disable the smoke alarms during an emergency. The Life Safety Code, or NFPA 101, also requires smoke alarms to be powered by a dedicated circuit that is not shared with other appliances. Some local building codes may have additional requirements for emergency circuits, such as requiring them to be on a different phase from other circuits. Firstly, request the contractor to move the GFI outlet to a different circuit that is not used for emergency purposes. Secondly, ask the contractor to provide specific references to the code that support their claim that the installation meets code. If the contractor does not resolve the issue, consider contacting your local building inspector or the alarm company that installed the system for further guidance. If the contractor is able to provide valid code references or other documentation that proves the installation is compliant, you should accept their explanation and have the issue resolved in accordance with the code. Let's delve a little deeper into why these codes are in place and what they mean for you as a homeowner. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards that governs electrical installations to ensure safety. Article 700 specifically addresses emergency systems, which are vital for life safety during power outages or other emergencies. Smoke alarms fall under this category because they are critical for alerting occupants to a fire, allowing them time to evacuate. The requirement for a dedicated circuit means that the smoke alarm should be powered by a circuit breaker that serves only the smoke alarms. This prevents other appliances from interfering with the smoke alarm's operation. The reason for this is twofold. Firstly, to prevent overloads. If other appliances are in the same circuit, they can draw too much current, causing the circuit breaker to trip and potentially disabling the smoke alarms. Secondly, to prevent electrical noise or interference. Some appliances, like refrigerators and freezers, can generate electrical noise that can interfere with the smoke alarm's ability to detect smoke. The GFI outlet, while designed to protect against electrical shock, can also be prone to nuisance tripping, especially when connected to appliances with motors like refrigerators and freezers. These appliances can cause a sudden surge of current when they start up, which can trigger the GFI to trip. This is why it's generally not recommended to install GFI outlets on circuits that power refrigerators or freezers. The NFPA 101 Life Safety Code reinforces the NEC requirements for smoke alarms. It emphasizes the importance of reliable power sources for smoke alarms to ensure they function properly in the event of a fire. Local building codes may have additional requirements that go beyond the NEC and NFPA 101. These requirements may be specific to your area and may address issues like the type of wiring required for emergency circuits, the location of circuit breakers, or the need for backup power sources. Now let's talk about what you can do to address this issue with your contractor. Firstly, gather information. Before you talk to your contractor, make sure you have a clear understanding of the NEC and NFPA 101 requirements for smoke alarms. You can find this information online or your local library. Secondly, document everything. Keep records of all your communications with the contractor, including emails, phone calls, and meeting notes. This will be helpful if you need to escalate the issue to a building inspector or alarm company. Thirdly, be prepared to negotiate. Your contractor may be resistant to changing the wiring, especially if they believe it meets code. Be prepared to negotiate and offer reasonable solutions, such as moving the GFI outlet to a different circuit or installing a dedicated circuit for the smoke alarms. Fourthly, involve a third party if necessary. If you're unable to resolve the issue with your contractor, consider contacting your local building inspector or the alarm company that installed the system. They can provide an objective assessment of the situation and help you find a solution. If the contractor insists that the installation meets code, ask them to provide specific references to the code that support their claim. Don't be afraid to challenge their interpretation of the code if you believe it's incorrect. You can also consult with a qualified electrician to get a second opinion. It's important to remember that safety is paramount. Smoke alarms are a critical safety device that can save lives. If you have any concerns about the wiring of your smoke alarms, it's important to address them promptly and ensure that they are functioning properly. Here's a more detailed explanation of the relevant NEC sections. Firstly, NEC 700.11 Dedicated Circuits for Emergency Systems. This section explicitly states that emergency systems, including fire alarm systems, must be supplied by a dedicated branch circuit. A dedicated branch circuit means that the circuit breaker powering the smoke alarm should not supply any other loads or devices. This ensures that the smoke alarms receive uninterrupted power and are not affected by the operation of other appliances. The rationale behind this requirement is to prevent a situation where a fault or overload on another appliance circuit could cause the circuit breaker to trip, disabling the smoke alarms. By having a dedicated circuit, the smoke alarms are isolated from other potential sources of failure. Secondly, NEC 700.14 Overcurrent Protection. This section requires that emergency circuits be protected by overcurrent devices, such as circuit breakers or fuses, that are readily accessible. Readily accessible means that the overcurrent devices must be located in a place where they can be easily reached without having to climb over obstacles or use tools. This ensures that in the event of a fault, the overcurrent device can be quickly reset or replaced to restore power to the emergency system. In the context of smoke alarms, this means that the circuit breaker protecting the smoke alarm circuit should be located in a panel that is easily accessible to the homeowner. Thirdly, NEC 210.8 Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter Protection for Personnel. This section specifies where GFI protection is required in dwelling units. While it doesn't prohibit the use of GFI outlets on circuits that power refrigerators or freezers, it's generally not recommended due to the potential for nuisance tripping. As mentioned earlier, refrigerators and freezers can cause a sudden surge of current when they start up, which can trigger the GFI to trip. This is especially true for older appliances or appliances that are not energy efficient. If a GFI outlet trips frequently, it can be a nuisance and can also lead to food spoilage. Therefore, it's generally recommended to use a standard outlet for refrigerators and freezers unless GFI protection is specifically required by a local code. Let's discuss the potential consequences of not complying with these code requirements. Firstly, reduced fire safety. If smoke alarms are not powered by a dedicated circuit, they may not function properly in the event of a fire. This could delay the detection of a fire and reduce the amount of time occupants have to evacuate. Secondly, increased risk of electrical shock. If GFI protection is not provided where required, there is an increased risk of electrical shock. This is especially true in wet or damp locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. Thirdly, code violations and penalties. Failure to comply with electrical code requirements can result in code violations and penalties. Building inspectors can issue fines or require that the non-compliant work be corrected. Fourthly, insurance issues. If a fire or electrical accident occurs due to non-compliant electrical work, your insurance company may deny coverage. This could leave you responsible for the cost of repairs and medical expenses. Here are some additional tips for ensuring the safety of your smoke alarm system. Firstly, test your smoke alarms regularly. Test your smoke alarms at least once a month to ensure they are functioning properly. Press the test button on each smoke alarm and listen for the alarm sound. Secondly, replace your smoke alarms every 10 years. Smoke alarms have a limited lifespan and should be replaced every 10 years, even if they are still functioning properly. The date of manufacture is typically printed on the back of the smoke alarm. Thirdly, install smoke alarms in the proper locations. Install smoke alarms on every level of your home, inside each bedroom and outside each sleeping area. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for proper placement. Fourthly, keep smoke alarms clean. Dust and debris can accumulate on smoke alarms and interfere with their ability to detect smoke. Clean your smoke alarms regularly with a vacuum cleaner or soft brush. Fifthly, don't disable smoke alarms. Never disable your smoke alarms, even if they are causing nuisance alarms. If you are experiencing frequent nuisance alarms, try relocating the smoke alarm or replacing it with a different type of smoke alarm. Sixthly, use interconnected smoke alarms. Interconnected smoke alarms are wired together so that when one alarm sounds, all the alarms sound. This provides an earlier warning of a fire, especially if the fire starts in a remote part of your home. In summary, ensuring the proper installation and maintenance of your smoke alarm system is crucial for protecting your home and family from fire. By understanding the NEC and NFPA 101 requirements for smoke alarms, you can ensure that your smoke alarm system is functioning properly and providing you with the earliest possible warning of a fire. If you have any doubts or concerns about your smoke alarm system, consult with a qualified electrician or fire safety professional. They can assess your situation and provide you with the best advice and recommendations for your specific needs. Remember, fire safety is everyone's responsibility. By taking the necessary precautions, you can significantly reduce the risk of fire in your home and protect yourself and your loved ones. Finally, let's discuss some common misconceptions about smoke alarms. Firstly, smoke alarms are only necessary in bedrooms. This is incorrect. Smoke alarms should be installed on every level of your home, inside each bedroom, and outside each sleeping area. Secondly, smoke alarms are too sensitive and cause too many nuisance alarms. While some smoke alarms can be prone to nuisance alarms, there are steps you can take to reduce this problem. Try relocating the smoke alarm, replacing it with a different type of smoke alarm, or cleaning the smoke alarm regularly. Thirdly, smoke alarms are expensive. Smoke alarms are relatively inexpensive and can save lives. The cost of a smoke alarm is a small price to pay for the peace of mind and protection it provides. Fourthly, smoke alarms are difficult to install. Smoke alarms are relatively easy to install and can be done by most homeowners. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for proper installation. Fifthly, smoke alarms don't need to be tested. This is incorrect. Smoke alarms should be tested at least once a month to ensure they are functioning properly. Testing your smoke alarms is a quick and easy way to ensure that they are ready to protect you in the event of a fire. By understanding these common misconceptions and taking the necessary precautions, you can ensure that your smoke alarm system is providing you with the best possible protection against fire. Remember, smoke alarms are a critical safety device that can save lives. Don't take them for granted.